Body Without the D by Justice Ameer. The boy wakes up. The boy looks at itself. The boy notices something missing. There is both too much and not enough flesh on the boy. The boy did not learn to shave from its father, so it taught itself how to graze its skin and cut things off. The boy cuts itself by accident. The blood reminds the boy it is a boy, reminds the boy how a boy bleeds, reminds the boy that not every boy bleeds. The boy feels empty. The boy feels like it will only ever be empty. The boy is a hollow facade. It attempts a convincing veneer. The boy is real, enough and too much, existing as its own erasure, evading removal, avoiding recognition, leaving just a boy that is never lost but can't be found. Justice is a Black transgender poet that expresses their struggles as a visible minority through the art of poetry. This poem is representative of the problems Z faces as a transgender woman, in which body without the D is reduced to a simple boy. Despite the fact that being perceived as a male is detrimental to them, I found euphoria in it. In other words, although this poem was written from the perspective of a male to female transgender person, I, being a female to male transitioning, still felt connected to what is being represented here. In a way, I like to think that our differences are in fact what connects us. Though our perspectives are different, our experiences and struggles with ourselves are similar, and they act as a unionizing point for transgender people of all different backgrounds. This poem represents my struggles as a transgender person, and it showcases my transition process and difficulties with gender and body dysphoria. It is critical of the physical body that we are given, and it describes the discomfort that one may feel with their own physical being. I specifically connected with the lines, "The boy did not learn to shave from its father, so it taught itself how to graze its skin and cut things off," because it represents the fear of having to go through the transition process independently without the support of a parental figure. It showcases the struggle that transgender people face with having to teach themselves how to live with their identity and the behaviors and skills that come with it. In this case, it is having to learn to shave to keep yourself clean. I'm fortunate to have a father who is in fact very willing to teach me how to do certain things, but prior to my coming out, being lost in a man's world was one of my worst fears. The term boy is harmful to the author, as it is a word that acts as a way to misgender them, but under my interpretation, it is my desirable state. I made the decision to interpret this poem visually because more often than not, I find difficulty in conveying my emotions through the use of words. I regularly showcase my emotions through the form of visual art, and since this poem had the goal of expressing who I am, I wanted to connect it to my favorite medium of self-expression. This poem is a favorite of mine because it connects to my identity. It is something very dear to me that I've struggled with all my life, and seeing others share similar experiences is always a form of support and connection. Since I am a visual person, both as an artist as well as a visual thinker, I am always appreciative of poems that are based on imagery. Justice paints a portrait of a body that is false, but it uses descriptions that appeal to my imagination. Repetition is also prevalent, as it creates a sense of daily life reoccurrences that transgender people tend to face. This can, of course, be seen in the repetition of boy, but also in the second stanza with blood, bleeds, and reminds.